That may not, however, be the end of the matter. Mueller's grand jury in Washington, D.C., the legally independent body that issued the subpoenas, had its term extended in January for up to 6 months, just before its initial 18-month term was set to expire. Another part of the Justice Department, such as the department's Foreign Influence Unit or the prosecutors who take over Stone's case, could seek to step in and begin working with the grand jury to obtain the witnesses' testimony. In addition, 2 former federal prosecutors agreed that the Justice Department would likely be loath to see recalcitrant witnesses come away with such an easy victory. I think some other unit within the Justice Department will likely see it through, either the U.S. Attorney in Washington, D.C., or maybe DOJ National Security, said Harry Sandick, a former prosecutor with the Manhattan U.S. Attorney's Office. It would set a bad precedent for Mueller to let witnesses defeat a subpoena through delay. I think that somebody will carry on the litigation because the grand jury is still in session until June, said Elizabeth de la Vega, a former organized crime prosecutor, agreeing. Mueller's investigators had also executed search warrants at Roger Stone's residences in Florida and New York when they arrested him in late January, seizing computers and phones, among other things. In court filings in Stone's case, prosecutors disclosed that they had seized 9 terabytes from the electronic devices. They found an enormous volume of stored data roughly equivalent to 29 hours of ultra-high-resolution video. It seems unlikely that the investigators would have been able to screen and review so much material in the less than 2 months since the search. The special counsel's office is also closing, with prosecutions still pending at various stages of completion. These include defendants who are waiting only to be sentenced at the completion of their cooperation, such as retired Lieutenant General Michael T. Flynn, Trump's first national security advisor, and Rick Gates. Defendant Stone is in the pretrial stages of his prosecution, and a large number of foreign defendants have been indicted but not arrested and brought before a court. It is unlikely they ever will be. The prosecution of Stone on charges of lying in congressional testimony and intimidating other witnesses will go forward even though the investigation that gave rise to the charges has come to a close. Stone will be prosecuted by the U.S. Attorney's Office in Washington, D.C., whose prosecutors have been attached to the case since its initiation, Carr confirmed by email Friday evening. Prosecutions that may spring to life in the future, for example, if the Russian defendants associated with the Internet Research Agency were ever arrested, would be handled by other Justice Department offices associated with those cases. Whether any former special counsel attorneys will continue to participate remains to be determined, Carr wrote. The prosecutions of Gates, Trump's deputy campaign manager, and Flynn, however, do not have any Justice Department components other than special counsel's office involved. Flynn's sentencing was delayed late last year after the federal judge expressed his extreme distaste with Flynn's conduct and offered him the chance to complete his cooperation before being sentenced, an offer the retired general decided to accept. The next status update in Flynn's case is due in June. The 2 special counsel attorneys assigned to Flynn's case, Brandon Van Grack and Zainab Ahmed, had left the special counsel's office even before the conclusion of its investigation on Friday. Asked which Justice Department office would be taking over Flynn's case to handle the sentencing, Carr replied, "To be determined."